That's how I used to do without you when I was just recording it. Just like put out the Osmo.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm just out of the gym right now. Let me just ram through some episodes and like whatever I'm wearing. I try to be a little bit intentional about brand and appearance and everything. But one of the things that I've been thinking about recently is just generally how I can start sharing a little bit more of fitness and everyday life into the brand, into the journey, because it's interesting. There's so many people, so many other influencers similar to me, and they're very good friends who also have done a good job of incorporating fitness into their life. And it's just funny because I'm like, of all these people, like I know this guy, I know this guy, I know this guy. Of all of them, I'm the only one that's like a multi-time like former professional athlete. And so it's like I do have like a very unique, interesting perspective to share on that stuff. I've just never done it because it's always felt like tangential. It was like it's not even tangential. It feels so close to what I do that I don't even think about it.
Oh.
Right, like when we talked about that the other day in the kitchen in my apartment, and I was like, I lift every day. And you're like, you don't take a rest day? You're like, no, never take rest days. Never take rest days. Why would you ever take a rest day? Like nobody at the top of no world champion is taking a rest day. Like, and so like just the mindset of that is so foreign to me. And then when I hear people like, it's just so funny. Like Sahil is a good buddy, and every day he's out there, he's hitting the roads, and he posts and he's like, rent is due. Every day, rent is due. And it's such a funny concept because I know he was also a very high level athlete, played baseball in Stanford, but the people at the absolute top of the game just don't think about that.
Yeah.
And with Sahil's at the top of the game. He thinks about it because he's really good as a content creator of saying like, other people don't think about this, therefore I should share this. So recently I've been thinking about, okay, how can I incorporate a little bit of that more into the story and sharing that side of the experience, because it's just been such if you were to strip away, if you were to look at like a pie chart of my life, and it was like, how do you identify yourself? Do you identify yourself as an entrepreneur, a writer, ADHD, or an athlete? Like the very first thing is just elite athlete. That's the very first thing. Like in my core of core identities, it's the belief that I don't even stop to question anymore, right? You believe it so innately that you don't even see it. But I was journaling about this last week where I was like, it's just even as like a plumping up 41-year-old, given like to my standards, like I'm a plump boy right now. I still think of myself innately as a world-class athlete. Is like the prime part of my identity. So I want to share that part because I think it's interesting to peek in. I know because I'm always interested to like see that side of other people. Yeah. For some reason I just haven't really thought of sharing it. So don't know what that has to do with the hat, other than I just got out of the gym, so I was like, just put on a hat. We don't have to care about brand image all that much. Well, that's the other thing too. I think people put too much emphasis on like brand image. Of like, I need to show up a certain way. I need to have my hair coiffed. I need to have the right outfit. I think as long as you're not doing anything that like actively hurts the brand, you're like wearing clothes that like send the wrong message in terms of like, are those swear words? Is that a naked woman on his shirt? Like that type of stuff. This is like offensive, but there's a Twitter thread people were talking about the other day about, and this is like a perennial question. It's like, do you buy the $5,000 Rolex? Do you wear the suit? Will people take you more seriously or take you less seriously if you show up in certain ways? And it was a really split conversation because the guy that posed it has a very large Twitter following. He's in real estate, and his point was people will treat you very differently when you show up to a board meeting in New York City wearing a suit versus not. And like they will instantly judge you if you're not wearing a suit. And then my other buddy, who was a CMO of multiple Fortune 500 companies, I think is the only CMO who's ever taken 3 of them public. So like also very high level entrepreneur business guy. And he's like, it's bullshit. It doesn't matter. Like I've never been in a room where anybody has ever cared. Like you go into a room, people might care for 3 seconds, but after the first 15 seconds, you know who's legit and who belongs after they open their mouth. And he's like, and then everything else doesn't matter. And so it's like, there's like 2 dichotomies. Like which side do you fall on? Do you think like appearances matter? People judge you. Sure. People judge you. The one guy's opinion was like, people judge you and it's costing you a lot to be judged. And the other guy's like, it's not costing you that as much as you think. And my stance has always been that if you have to signal your status, it's the most anti-status move of all. So if you think you can buy something that will signal your status, then you have just automatically told me everything I need to know about you in the pecking order of life. Because I fall into the category of my friend who's the CMO and saying like, just open your mouth. Be so fucking good at what you do that people don't care what you wear. Now that's much easier. The idea there is you have to be really good. And so like if you're young, maybe you do need to dress a certain part to compensate a little bit because you don't quite have that there. But there's another idea, which is, we form these first impressions off of people and then we baseline expectations off of that. And so and I've talked about this before, there's really no benefit to being overestimated. Yes. Right? Like if you show up in a suit and you're 22 and you don't actually have the skills and you're going to open your mouth and immediately reveal to everybody that you're an idiot, like the suit only sets you up to fall further. So it's like, oh, he's wearing a suit. He better know what he's talking about. And then when he opens his mouth, like, oh, fuck, he's a fucking idiot. And he's just wearing a stupid suit, right? Whereas if you come in, you're wearing sweats, and it's like, oh, that guy looks like he just rolled out of bed. Like, yeah, the way you're dressed right now, actually, you're wearing, for the audience that can't see, you're wearing like head to toe gray sweatsuit. It looks like the high school warm up outfit for track and field. Yeah. Was it? It looks kind of like it. You look good. Oh, whatever. But then, some people judge you very harshly initially, and they'll be like, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. Like, who shows up in sweatsuits? And then you open your mouth, and it's like, okay, he knows what he's talking about. Cool. So it's good to be underestimated because you can always then, take people by surprise and overachieve. Being overestimated only comes with the downside. Like, you never want to be overestimated, even if you are the most badass person in the room. It's still like Jordan still had a chip on his shoulder, though he is the best person in the room. He still wanted to believe that like other people were hunting him and like that he had something to prove, right? And so, I don't know. There's like all this is to say. I think I don't know how we're going to cut this podcast. I don't know what parts this will be interesting. All that's to say is that there are so many conflicting pieces of advice on the internet. All advice on the internet eventually cancels out to zero. For every piece of advice that tells you one thing, you can find the contrarian opinion that tells you the other thing. And maybe just for the sake of like protecting myself in the future from anybody ever coming in being like, oh, you're an idiot and the advice you put out is dumb, doesn't work. I will preface this by saying advice for it to be useful is contextual, highly contextual to the individual. And you obviously can't get that on the internet. So anybody speaking in a soundbite in a 240 character tweet or in a 10-minute YouTube video, like you're not going to get the individualized context that you need for the advice to be truly useful, which is why if you want valuable advice, you have to pay a lot of money for it. Right? If you want my individualized contextual advice for you and your business, you have to come work with me one-on-one. And then I can get to know you. I can see behind the scenes. I can understand your context. And I can say, in your case, yeah, you should probably start dressing the part. Right? In that particular context, it wouldn't hurt. Over here, nah, it doesn't matter so much. Right? And so for that, that's why like we created Beyond the Apex, like the coaching community specifically for entrepreneurs that are doing over $10,000 a month that want to do up to $1 million. It's like, if you want that contextual advice, you want to work with me so I can take a look at your business and help you get that growth. Yeah. That's how we do it. But in these videos, I would just encourage people, always be careful, stand guard at the gate of the mind. Be careful what advice and what information you consume. And just realize for every piece of advice you hear from me, you will find somebody else contradicting it. And you have to be able to weigh those variables and decide for yourself which is the right path forward. Or if you don't want all that, like, trial and error, trying to figure it out on your own, go get a coach. I'd happy to work with you. Go to beyondtheapex.com if you think that you're a good fit, you're doing over $10,000 a month in your business, and apply to work with me. Otherwise, go find somebody else and get their advice, get their opinion, but get it contextual to you. Otherwise, just know you're going to have to keep sifting through everything that everybody says and try to figure out how to slot the puzzle piece into your unique situation for it to be, useful. This was a weird episode. I don't know if anybody found this useful. We'll call this the potpourri podcast, the podpourri episode, and good luck, Godspeed.